Cross-examination. May I proceed?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence, I want to be clear about the scope of your testimony today.
Good morning. That is fine.
You were Ms. Dawson's server on September 24th, 2010.
Of course.
So that was the first time you ever met Ms. Dawson, isn't that right?
Yes. She said nice at first.
And after that day, after September 24th, 2010, you never saw Ms. Dawson again.
Well, I think
Objection, Your
right
Honor,
now-
relevance. Your Honor, may I respond?
Yes.
This goes directly to the scope of this witness's testimony. This witness testified extensively about Ms. Dawson, about observations regarding Ms. Dawson. We're simply trying to prove that this witness only spent 6 hours with Ms. Dawson and didn't have enough information in order to make the conclusions that he did on direct examination.
I understand that, but how is it relevant whether he ever saw her after that date? How is that relevant to his ability to make observations on that date?
Well, Your Honor, it just shows, it's just foundational to the fact that he only saw her for a period of 6 hours.
I understand that, but my question to you is, how are his subsequent interactions with her of any relevance to his ability to assess anything regarding his interactions with her of the date in question?
We can move on, Your Honor.
Okay, let's do
Mr.
that.
Strick?
I don't believe he
Oh,
ever
okay.
answered.
Mr. Lawrence, you were Ms. Dawson's server on September 24th?
Yes, we've established.
And while you were Ms. Dawson's server, you started at about 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I was training from 12 to 7. So then I started my shift with the clock in at 7.
So you were Ms. Dawson's server starting at 7 o'clock?
Yes, but I had been with her all afternoon. I was training right behind the bar. She was right on the other side.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is being non-responsive. I asked if he started serving the witness at 7 o'clock. He started talking about how he was training all afternoon.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
That'll be stricken.
Mr. Lawrence, while you were serving Ms. Dawson, you continued to serve her for a period of 6 hours, right?
From 7 to 1. 7 to 1 a.m. is when I was serving her. I can't do math apparently, but yes, that's the time.
You know Ms. Dawson came into the bar at about noon, right?
2
And she left at about 1 o'clock in the morning.
of that night, yes.
That's a period of about 13 hours.
No, 2 to 1 is 11 hours.
All right, Mr. Lawrence, that's a period of about 11 hours.
Yes.
And out of those 11 hours, you only served Ms. Dawson for half that time.
Yes, serve her, but I did collect her drinks earlier in the day. Empty.
Mr. Lawrence, I want to talk to you about how many drinks you actually saw Ms. Dawson consume.
Okay.
Now, you weren't just Ms. Dawson's server, were you? You weren't just Ms. Dawson's server, you were serving other customers as
Objection,
well?
relevance, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Your Honor, quick point of order. We have opposing counsel's timer disclose the time per the AMTA rules.
Oh.
Well, he's supposed to be visually keeping the time.
Absolutely, Your Honor. I'll take care of that.
Okay, why don't you, right now, let them know how much time they have left, and if you would make it a point to, how often do the rules require it?
The rules require that
Throughout?
the entire time it has a visual, so both sides can see.
Absolutely, Your Honor. For cross-examination, you have about 13 minutes left.
About 13 minutes?
I need to do the math, but it's in the vicinity of 13 minutes.
Well, I think they need to know exactly how much time, because there will be
Yes, Your Honor.
a time when they have to stop, and it won't be about, it'll be exactly. So let's take a brief recess till the official timer is able to calculate the amount of time left.
How does the timing work? Are both timers supposed to keep time, or one, or how does that work exactly?
One per each side, generally.
Okay.
Don't you have one official and one unofficial?
Your Honor, may be heard. Actually, both timers are supposed to keep time for both sides, just to ensure the accuracy of both times.
Okay.
Well, let's see how close they come to each other then.
I have 13 minutes and 8 seconds remaining.
13:05.
Okay, you're pretty close. All right, well, we only need one to hold up the time, no? 'Cause I know the other gentleman has been holding up the time.
Well, Right, but it's, he's been holding up the time for our directs, or our cross, or not our crosses yet, but our directs.
Okay.
So I guess the whole point of someone, of both sides being transparent with the time to ensure that there's no cheating as far as time.
We'll ensure to do that, Your Honor, for the
All right,
record.
thank you. You
May I
may-
proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, you may continue.
Mr. Lawrence, Ms. Dawson's table wasn't the only table that you were serving that night, isn't that right?
This is true, I was new, so they only gave me 2.
Mr. Lawrence, you were serving other tables that night?
One at a table.
You were serving other customers on that other table, isn't that right?
Yes, that would be assumed if I'm serving on the table.
Now, when you had to serve customers, you took an order from the particular customer, isn't that right?
Yes.
You took that order and you took it to the bartender, right?
Yes, but sometimes I would pour the drinks too.
Is it your testimony that you were pouring the drinks, Mr. Lawrence?
I poured almost all of the grain alcohol shots they spoke about earlier.
But Mr. Lawrence, you weren't pouring all of the drinks on the night of September 24th, isn't that right?
No, I just poured some, like you said.
So you had to take the order to the bartender, correct?
For the most part, she was very, very busy this night. It was very busy.
Objection, Your Honor, the witness is being non-responsive. I asked if he had to take the orders to the bartender. He started talking about her being busy.
His response was for the most part, and then he went on after that. So everything after, for the most part, will be stricken.
Yes, ma'am. Now, when you took the order to the bartender, you had to wait for her to make the drinks, isn't that right?
No, because it was so busy, I would give her the order, I would sometimes walk away, get a new order, and she would pour it, and we would be ready.
So you would have to wait for her to pour the drinks before you could serve them to the customers, isn't that right?
Yes, but not waiting, looking at her.
So you did have to wait for the bartender to make the order before you could serve the customer. That's a yes to my question.
Yes, but I would not sit there, I would walk away and come back.
Mr. Lawrence, I didn't ask you if you would sit there. I asked you if you had to wait, and you did.
Perhaps I don't understand the word wait, but I guess correct.
And after you waited for the bartender to make the drinks, you would take those drinks to the table that ordered those drinks, correct?
Yes.
And while you were doing this, taking orders, taking them to the bartender, and then taking them back to the table, you weren't watching every single customer at every single moment, were you?
No.
So you weren't fully concentrated on Miss Dawson for the entirety of the time that you were serving her, were you?
That's not entirely true. I had 2 tables and I was new and they were pretty girls, and so I was looking at them pretty intensely so I could make sure if they needed something. I was right there.
Mr. Lawrence, is that a yes to my question, that you were not entirely concentrated on Miss Dawson's table for the entirety of the night?
I was concentrated on that table a lot the night, not 100% of my time, though.
Is it your testimony that you were watching Miss Dawson's table every single second of the time that you were serving that table?
No, I'm just trying to explain that I was new and I was trying my best to concentrate on that table.
Is that a yes to my question, that you were not watching her table for the entirety of the night?
That is correct.
Now, Mr. Lawrence, you talked about the receipts at Chuggy's, didn't you, on direct examination?
I did.
You said Miss Dawson ordered about 15 drinks.
I don't remember the exact counts. This was about a year and a half ago, but there was at least over a dozen.
I want to talk to you about what receipts at Chuggy's do. Receipts at Chuggy's tell you who paid for each drink, isn't that right?
That is correct.
They don't tell you who ordered the drink.
No, they don't.
They don't tell you who consumed the drink.
They don't.
They don't tell you whether or not those drinks were ordered for somebody else.
They don't, but as a personal server, it's very easy to tell which drinks are for me.
And you can confirm for this jury that on the night of September 24th, Ms. Dawson wasn't just ordering drinks for herself.
She ordered 2 shots and a couple screwdrivers for Vanessa. But other than that, almost a dozen drinks I put in front of her.
Mr. Lawrence, I didn't ask you which drinks she ordered for herself or which drinks she ordered for other people. I asked if she was ordering drinks for other people, and she was.
Yes, some of them.
She was ordering drinks for Taylor.
I don't remember that. But she did order 2 shots and some screwdrivers for that girl who died.
So she was ordering drinks for Vanessa Sullivan.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk to you about the strength of the drinks at Chuggy's.
Okay.
Now, you said that sometimes the drinks can be strong.
No, I did not taste any drinks. It was my first day. I didn't want to get fired. But the bartender kept telling me that she was going to make them stronger.
Objection, Your Honor, the witness is being non-responsive. I asked if sometimes the drinks can be strong. The witness talked about him not drinking any drinks.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
It'll be stricken.
And Mr. Lawrence, you said that sometimes drinks at Chuggy's can be strong, correct?
I don't know.
Right? Well, it's possible for an alcoholic drink to be strong, correct?
On Jordan James' shift, apparently.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive. I asked if it's possible for an alcoholic drink to be strong. He started talking about Jordan James's shift.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
It'll be stricken.
And Mr. Lawrence, it's possible for an alcoholic drink to be strong.
It can be.
It's possible for an alcoholic drink to be weak.
Yes.
And the person who determines whether or not that drink is strong or weak is the person who's pouring that drink, correct?
It could be the person tasting it.
Mr. Lawrence, the person who determines how much alcohol goes into the drink is the person who is pouring the drink, correct?
I guess you could say that, but the person who drinks it's going to say if it's strong or not.
Is that a yes to my question? That a
You
person...
could say that, I guess. I understand. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Now, I want to talk about one drink in particular.
Okay.
You said that you brought a round of shots to Ms. Dawson's table at the end of the night, right?
I did.
And you said these were green alcohol shots?
Yes, it's 2 for 1. They're very strong shots.
And you brought one for each person on the table.
The whole bar?
Ms. Dawson asked you to bring her a shot of water, didn't you?
She did.
But you think you made a mistake.
I do.
You think that you served her a shot of grain alcohol instead.
I do.
So it's your mistake, isn't it, Mr. Lawrence?
It was a very, very busy night. I do regret the mistake, but I'm pretty positive I made a mistake. And she
Is that a yes to my question, that it's your mistake, Mr. Lawrence?
It is.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Great for you, Your Honor. Mr. Lawrence, on cross-examination, you were asked about grain alcohol shot. Can you please describe what a grain alcohol shot is?
From what I know, being a server, it is a brand that they have clearance, so it's very strong.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Why is it not relevant?
This testimony is outside the scope of cross. We didn't delve into what a grain alcohol shot is. It's irrelevant.
Outside the scope would be bringing in something that completely wasn't touched upon in cross, and clearly opposing counsel did touch upon it.
Your objection is overruled.
Can you explain, Mr. Lawrence?
These brands are very clear, so it's very strong. We call it a 2 for 1, because if you take one shot of it, it's like taking 2 shots of something like tequila or vodka.
There's no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Yes, sir.